You are listening to inspiring stories carefully selected by AI Happy, told by the voice of Grandpa Kevin. Now, please join us for today's story, a touching journey of a young American girl waking up in a fast-paced world full of social media show-offs. Emily grew up in a small, peaceful town in Oregon where life moved slowly and everyone knew each other. From a young age, she was a quiet and thoughtful girl who loved to write in her journal, take photos of the beautiful outdoors, and imagine one day becoming a writer. In high school, Emily wasn't part of a big crowd, but she had a few close friends she trusted deeply. They enjoyed hiking together, baking sweet treats, studying for exams, and sharing their hopes for the future. Social media wasn't important to Emily back then. She used it just to keep a few memories safe. But when she left for college, everything began to change. Leaving her small town behind, Emily moved to a big, busy city. It felt like stepping into a whole new world. Here, it seemed like everyone had a second life on social media. Photos of travels, checking in at fancy cafes, wearing trendy clothes, and writing confident captions. Some even showed off their school achievements or their relationships. Emily started to feel lost. She didn't want to be invisible or unnoticed, so little by little, she changed. At first, she posted selfies that were brightened and smoothed. Then came photos of her books, coffee cups, and laptop to look busy but stylish. She posted more often, followed famous people, and learned how to write deep and motivational captions. In real life, many nights, she worked late shifts at a pizza place to pay rent. But on Instagram, she always looked like a confident student with style, living a cool life and always moving forward. Every like felt like a boost. Every compliment felt like proof that she was on the right path. But deep inside, Emily was getting tired. Every time she prepared a post, she had to think about what to wear, where to go, and what to say. Once, she even borrowed a fancy bag from her roommate just to fake a photo with the caption, "Work hard, reward yourself." Slowly, the fake things became habits. She started avoiding old friends because she was afraid they would see the real her. A girl struggling with bills, schoolwork, and feeling not good enough. One day, Emily got invited to her high school reunion. At first, she was unsure, but she decided to go partly because she missed home, partly because she was curious about old friends. At the reunion, among lively conversations, Emily was surprised to see Mia, her close friend from before. Mia was still the same, simple, kind, wearing little makeup and barely using social media. What touched Emily the most was how Mia talked about her life, working as a nurse in their town, having a small dog, visiting her grandparents every week, and baking for orphans on weekends. Nothing showy by social media standards, but Mia had a peacefulness that Emily had lost a long time ago. After the reunion, the two walked by the lake, the same place they used to visit. Mia gently asked, "Are you okay? I see a very different Emily on social media." Emily didn't answer right away. After a moment, she started to cry. For the first time in years, she honestly shared about the pressure, the feeling of never being enough, and the loneliness behind thousands of followers. Mia didn't say much, just quietly sat beside her and said, "I've always loved the old Emily, the one who wrote journals, smiled a lot, and didn't need to prove anything to anyone." After seeing Mia again, Emily didn't return to being her old self, but she began to wake up. In the days that followed, she started reflecting on her life, not the one online, but the real one. She asked herself questions she had avoided for years. Who am I when no one's watching? What truly makes me feel full inside? Why do I keep chasing other people's approval? Emily decided to take a break from social media. It felt strange at first, not scrolling through her phone every morning. But instead, she began her days by writing down 3 things she was grateful for, sipping a warm cup of tea in silence, and simply being present. One weekend, while wandering through a quiet neighborhood on the edge of the city, Emily stumbled upon a small monastery. It sat behind a row of tall pine trees, calm and tucked away from the busy world. A small wooden sign near the gate read, "Free Mindfulness Program, open to the community. All are welcome." The words, "Slow down and return to yourself," caught her attention. Something about them made her stop. She stood there for a moment, just listening to the breeze rustling through the trees. She didn't overthink it. She signed up. The following week, Emily returned to the monastery for the first session. What she found there was something she didn't expect. The monks who lived at the monastery had almost nothing. Simple robes, plain meals, no phones, no noise. But they smiled often. They moved slowly, gently. They seemed content, really content. Their joy wasn't loud or flashy. It was quiet, but strong. It felt real. During one session, the group was invited to practice mindful eating. As Emily sat on the wooden floor of the monastery's simple dining hall, a small bowl of warm rice was placed in front of her. There was no music, no chatter, no clinking of silverware, just quiet breathing, the soft rustle of robes, and the subtle aroma of freshly cooked food rising in the air. One of the monks led the group through a short guided meditation. His voice was gentle, like a breeze through the trees. "Before we eat, let us pause and remember the sun, the soil, the rain, the farmers who planted the seeds, the hands that harvested the grain, the many invisible lives that brought this meal to our bowl. Let us eat in mindfulness, with gratitude in every bite." Emily looked down at the simple meal, just rice and steamed vegetables, but it suddenly felt like a gift. She brought the spoon to her lips slowly. The warmth touched her face. The smell was earthy, clean, comforting. She took a bite, and for the first time in years, she really tasted her food. No phone, no scrolling, no rushing, just her and the meal. She chewed slowly, feeling the texture, the softness of the rice, the gentle crunch of the vegetables. She noticed how her tongue moved, how her teeth pressed together, how her throat carried the food inward. When she swallowed, she didn't just know it, she felt it. Each bite was a full experience, and something inside her softened. It wasn't just about eating, it was about being here, fully, honestly, without distraction. In that stillness, she felt a kind of peace that no online praise had ever given her. Over the next few days, Emily returned again and again to this quiet practice. She learned to walk slowly in silence, feeling each step connect with the earth. She learned to breathe deeply, not to fix anything, but simply to notice that she was alive, that her breath was still with her, that this moment right now was enough. One afternoon, after a silent meal, Emily stayed behind and sat on a weathered bench beneath a tall maple tree. A kind-eyed nun noticed her and sat beside her without saying a word. The wind danced through the leaves. For a while, neither of them spoke. Finally, Emily looked at her and said softly, "I used to post everything online, chasing likes, comments, attention. I wanted people to see me, but inside, I felt invisible. I felt lost." The nun nodded slowly. Her voice was low and steady, like a river. Many people are chasing happiness like it's somewhere out there, somewhere far away. But happiness isn't a reward for being perfect. It's not something we earn by becoming someone else. True happiness is already here. It's something we remember when we breathe with awareness, when we eat with gratitude, when we pause long enough to truly see. Emily felt her eyes sting with quiet tears, not from sadness, but from recognition. Those words didn't feel like advice. They felt like home. That evening, as the sun dipped below the hills and the sky turned to gold, Emily walked slowly along the monastery garden path. She wasn't in a hurry to get anywhere. For the first time in a very long time, she felt enough. She wasn't trying to be inspiring. She wasn't trying to be perfect. She was just here, alive, breathing, present. And that, she realized, was more than enough. For the first time in so long, Emily felt a quiet love for her own body, not for how it looked, but for all it had carried her through. She placed a gentle hand over her heart and whispered inside, "Thank you." She began noticing the little things that once seemed ordinary, but now felt like miracles. The warmth of her kitchen in the early morning light, where she brewed her tea and prepared simple, nourishing meals, each dish a quiet act of love for herself. The soft hum of the kettle, the scent of cinnamon, the way steam rose and curled like a silent dance in the air. She felt grateful for her small wooden table, for the smoothness of her favorite ceramic cup, for the fridge that kept her fresh greens cold. She began to love the soft cotton blanket on her bed, the one she used to toss aside without a thought. Now, it felt like a gentle embrace, wrapping her in safety after long days. She looked around her bedroom and smiled. This room, her room, had held her through heartbreak, loneliness, and silent tears. And yet, it was still here, still sheltering her, still whispering, "You are safe." Each night, when she turned off the lights and rested her head, she no longer felt alone in the dark. She felt held by the walls that protected her from the winter winds, by the mattress that supported her tired body, by the stillness that no longer scared her, but soothed her. These weren't things to post about. These weren't moments to perform, but they were real and they were hers.